Welcome to The Bite. My name is Jackie. Today's video is on a really delicious summertime dessert. These are strawberry shortcakes, but they have a few twists to them. The shortcakes are going to have a tahini in them, or tahini, which is sesame paste, very traditional Middle Eastern ingredient. The strawberries are going to be mixed in like a rose water. They're going to kind of macerate in like a rose water syrup, or their juices are going to kind of become that syrup. And then the whipped cream is going to have Labneh in it. So all the components of a classic strawberry cheesecake are all infused with some Middle Eastern traditional ingredients, and it's delicious, let me tell you. So what I have here is the basis for the shortcake itself. Later on we'll go into the ingredients for the toppings. So let me show you what I got right here. So I have some flour, a little bit of sugar, salt, and baking powder. I have some heavy cream, cold butter. It's really important that you use cold butter. That is going to ensure little pockets of air, and it's going to keep the shortcake itself nice and fluffy like a biscuit. Of course, your tahini paste. I have an egg here that we're going to add as the binder in the shortcake, and then this egg is just going to go on top when we bake it in the oven. It's going to kind of give it a little sheen. It's going to look really pretty. So I'm going to make this all in my food processor. It comes together really quickly, so let's head over there. All right, so now I'm gonna mix everything into my food processor. I like to do it this way because that way the cold butter can stay cold and the food processor does all the work. The heat from my hands won't melt the butter, and it'll still give me a fluffy texture in the shortcake, and that's what I'm looking for. So I'm gonna just quickly mix these dry ingredients together. I mean, not fully, and then just add them into the food processor along with the tahini. All right, I'm gonna pulse these ingredients together just a bit, and then we'll add in the butter. So that is mixed in, and that way it also kind of mixes together the dry ingredients. And now I'm gonna add in the cold butter. Like I said, this cold butter will give us nice little pockets and keep that texture flaky, which is what I love. So it's in there. I'm just gonna pulse it slightly until they look like little peas in the dough. So you can see in here, it almost looks like sand, and that is perfect. So now I can add in the wet ingredients. So what I'm gonna do is crack this egg into this little ramekin. That way I know there's no seed, no shell. Add it to the heavy cream and just give it a little quick whisk. Maybe I should have done it in a bigger bowl. But I just want to break that yolk up a little bit, kind of mix these together. Before I turn this back on, I just want to dust off the top, get all that flour right in the middle where I want it. And I'm gonna actually add this lid back on, remove this top portion. So I ended up adding my heavy cream and my egg to a little pourable ramekin. This is just a measuring cup. So that one, I can mix them together well. Ooh. And two, I can pour it into here. So I just removed this piece, and I'm gonna be pouring it in as I'm pulsing it. That way it'll combine really quickly, and it'll actually be really clean too. So I'm gonna go. Alrighty. This is looking good. So I am going to remove this and put it into a bowl, and I will meet you back at the counter so that I can put it together. All right, so the dough is ready, and it feels really good. It's got a good bounce to it. It's not super sticky. I still definitely need to chill this though. If I were to bake it now, it would not rise as well as I want it to. You could stick it in the freezer. I'm actually just gonna stick it in the fridge for about 30 minutes, and it's gonna work perfectly. So I have an ice cream scoop here. This is really handy. I'm not gonna be rolling anything out. I'm just gonna be scooping it, placing it onto my baking sheet, and putting it in the fridge. This should make about 8 or 9 shortcakes. Usually they make 9 for me. If you don't have an ice cream scoop, you can just divide it as evenly as you can into about 8 or 9. or however many you want. Just remember, the larger that these are, the baking time will differ. You'll need a greater baking time. So they don't expand too terribly much. All 9 of mine will fit onto one sheet. So I'm gonna get working on these, stick them in the fridge, and then we will bake them in the oven. So these have been in the fridge for about 30 minutes, a little bit, actually quite a bit longer than that. I have my oven preheated to 400, and I also have my daughter. You can probably hear her. She's playing. This is real life. I just wanted to make sure I got these videos up for you because this is some good stuff. So 400 degrees oven, this is going in, and in the meantime, I'm gonna cut up my strawberries and get to work on the whipped cream. So I have my strawberries here, and all I did was I washed them and I sliced them so that I have little rounds of strawberries. These need to sit for a little bit to macerate in the sugar and the rose water. So this is the perfect time to do it while the shortcakes are in the oven and they need time to cool. And we also need to make our whipped cream. So this is when I like to do it. So I'm just gonna add some straight up sugar right to it, along with a little bit of rose water. Now I have mentioned in the past that I don't really care for rose water, but in here, a little essence of it does so much. I shouldn't have done it so far, but only 1 tablespoon is going to be the perfect amount. And it's so funny because I smell it and it brings you back, or brings me back to when I was a kid, and my mom used to give me this by the tablespoon, just straight up rose water when I had a stomachache, and that was supposed to remedy it. So to me, this is like medicine. That's why I've always had little, issues with rose water. So I'm gonna let this sit. This looks really odd right now. If you've never done this before, this might look really odd, but this will release the water from the strawberries, kind of create a syrup, and you'll really taste that rose water in there. That little bit goes a long way. So I'm gonna let this sit, and let's get to making our Labneh with cream. So in the stand mixer, I'm gonna whip up the Labneh. Again, you can do this by hand. You can do this with a hand mixer. This is just how I like to do it. You wanna make sure the heavy cream is cold so that it can give you nice stiff peaks. And I wanna scrape off all of that. I've had people message me on Instagram saying, why don't you ever use everything that's in the bowl? Believe me, I do, okay? If it's not on camera, it's behind the scenes, trust. And then I'm just gonna add in my powdered sugar. I have Labneh and honey here as well, but I wanna get this going first. So the whipped cream and the powdered sugar is gonna whip up till almost stiff peaks. And then we'll show you in just a second. So in my stand mixer, this took just about a couple of minutes to achieve. Now I have honey and I have Labneh. I like the addition of honey and powdered sugar because it adds a slight smokiness. It just adds a different element that powdered sugar alone can't achieve. So I mix the honey with the Labneh. Can you hear my daughter back there? She's ready. She's ready for some strawberry shortcake. So I'm just gonna mix, I'm gonna mix these two together. We've got these two mixed together. Let me see, what's the easiest way to do this? I'm gonna just add my Labneh and the honey mixture right in and kind of scrape off the bottom of the spatula with, ta-da. Does anybody else do this? Like I said, we gotta get off every little bit so I don't get any more Facebook or Instagram messages. Okay, this is gonna go back on just for a minute. I don't wanna over whip and turn this into butter. If you saw my Instagram story, that does happen. So lightly whisk it together. So this is how I like the whipped cream. Not super stiff peaks, but it's just perfect to me. It's good for my taste. So see, that Labneh we made last week does more than just the typical dip, although there is nothing wrong with a Labneh dip. But you can do so much with it, just like you can do with cream cheese. So I'm gonna get this on the table. Our shortcakes are almost done, and then we can put it all together. So these beauties came out of the oven, and I did forget to put that last egg wash on, but honestly, it's okay. I mean, they look beautiful, and they're gonna taste delicious either way. I've made them both ways. It's not 100% necessary, but it just adds an extra element that I don't have here, but that's all good. I'm just debating on which one I want. So, okay, we got a strawberry rose topping. We have our Labneh whipped cream, and I just have some pistachios. You can add some toasted coconut, that would be delicious. Or you can just leave it with these two. Awesome. I'm gonna choose this one just because it's closest to me and it's got beautiful golden tops. So I'm just gonna cut it. How do you eat your strawberry shortcake? Do you keep everything on the side? Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's like buttery, flaky. I'm salivating. Okay, I'm gonna top this by first adding a layer of the whipped cream. And the Labneh that we made gave it just enough tang. If you can use store-bought Labneh, but I have the recipe on my channel that I made last week of the homemade Labneh that you can totally customize the tanginess. And mine is not super tangy, but it's just enough, and it works so well here. So I'm just gonna top. Look at this. Get a nice, good look at this. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna put the lid like that. And then just top this with a little bit of pistachios. Ta-da! Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, going in for a bite. You don't even know. You will, but right now, you're just gonna have to watch me eat this second bite. It's everything. I'm so proud of this dessert, and I really hope you give it a try. It's the perfect embodiment of mixing Western or Americanized traditional desserts with traditional Middle Eastern flavors, which is something that I love to do. You can find this on I'll be putting it on my modern Middle Eastern food playlist, where you can find other ways that I've used our ingredients in other cuisines. And I hope you like this. I really hope you give it a try. Nadia's clapping for me, so thank you, my love. But all the ingredients will be on my blog, and follow me on Instagram and Facebook so you can see the sneak peeks of what I'm making, and it's gonna be filmed. So I got a lot of requests for this from Instagram. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to see more, and we'll see you next time on the Bite.